Oppenheimer, was he ever happy? He doesn't. I mean, I didn't see a happy man in this movie ever.
Well, he's very intense, and Cillian Murphy plays him just very intensely. It's an amazing performance, and Robert Downey Jr. too. I think his performance and the dynamic between the two, and I mean, you've just captured that in the movie. And I want to make a point that I was stunned to realize that Christopher had done his own research with regard to the testimony at the end of the movie about the mysterious scientist X who testifies against straws. You're right. It's a sort of.
He's a tortured soul.
He's a tortured soul. He is.
Do you think we'll keep re-examining Oppenheimer as our understanding of quantum physics continues, as our taming of the atom continues, as our ability, if we ever get to, we're always 30 years away from being 30 years away with cold fusion, right? All those things. Will we continue to relitigate his legacy?
I hope so. I mean, when I talk to the leading researchers in the field of AI right now, for example, they literally refer to this right now as their Oppenheimer moment. They're looking to his story to say, okay, what are the responsibilities for scientists developing new technologies that may have unintended consequences?
Do you think Silicon Valley's thinking that right now? Do you think they understand this is an Oppenheimer moment?
They say that they do, and that's that's helpful. That at least it's in the conversation, and I hope that thought process will continue. I mean, I think I'm not saying that Oppenheimer's story offers any easy answers to those questions, but it at least can serve as a cautionary tale. It at least could show, where some of those responsibilities lie, and have people take a breath and think, okay, what is the accountability of
well,
the technologist?
I think it's also going to jumpstart a conversation about the role of scientists and the need for us as a society drenched in technology and science to have scientists as public intellectuals.
Well, do we feel as if the McCarthy era just sort of, do you feel like, Kip, you've crossed a couple of generations here in the scientific community. Do you feel like scientists sort of from the generation older than you felt that chill? What happened to Oppenheimer, and they were like, all right, maybe I won't get into the political space.
I think that some of them did. Some didn't. I think that I was much influenced through my father, who dealt with McCarthyism as a chair of a faculty in Utah at the time when we had a governor who was dictating the Board of Trustees fire faculty for the left-wing tendencies.
So he went through this.
Speaking out, and he had to stand up for them. He was as the chair of the faculty. So I went through this in my own family through him. Then I went on, and I saw another aspect of this, which is quite interesting. I spent a lot of time in the Soviet Union. I had collaborations with Yakov Borisovich Zeldovich, who with Andrei Sakharov was regarded as the father of the Soviet hydrogen bomb.
Right.
And if you asked your Russian colleagues, why did you build the bomb for Stalin? Stalin was obviously such a terror,
Right.
such a terror, and the struggles that they had were similar to what Oppenheimer had, but I think more extreme in some ways.
Right. Carlo, go ahead. Tom.
I was going to say, even though Oppenheimer was only in Los Alamos for 2.5 years, roughly, what he brought to the position is still with us today in terms of the culture of the laboratory and the commitment to free and open debate, within the walls, even though we're still doing sensitive work. And also, the importance
Scientists speak out, or do you? I mean, look, there was a chill post-COVID. Look at what has happened to Anthony Fauci, right? Look at what happened to Oppenheimer. I mean, there are a lot of parallels between Fauci and Oppenheimer right now.
I hope there will be more scientists speaking out. A lot of great physicists, American physicists, are here in the audience. Let me make this comment. Having weapons of mass destruction and living in this planet, humankind, thinking just about building things to kill friends.
Right.
And I think that's what we should learn and tell the politicians, stop this madness of just trying
The
to
laws of
prevail
physics
over
are the
other.
same in China as they are in the United States, as they are in Russia.
The physics
as
is
they
the
are
same,
in-
but it's more. It's also, one of the beautiful things we see in the movie, it's the openness of some scientists. I mean, first of all, I loved seeing Oppenheimer getting engaged with the wasteland, with Eliot, with modern pictures, this openness, and with politics. I mean, the science is not a closed thing. It's something that talks with the rest of the culture and should talk with the rest of the culture and should contribute. But ultimately, the decisions are not the scientists. Ultimately, the decision is society, is politics. And that's where we need to calm down the current tension and the disasters, I think.
Let's talk about, Christopher, if I could get you to do 2 screenings.